Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our channel. I just hope that the newest trend is not going to be exactly what happened to ex-governor of Imo State, Rochas Okorocha, where citizens now have free access to old politicians. And I just hope that this is not going to be a trend, which is, I must say, the politicians will definitely frown at. Now, before we go to the news proper to find out what it is that happened to Rochas Okorocha by citizens of Imo State, really like you subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you will see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Well, former Imo State governor, I'm talking about Rochas Okorocha, and the Obi of Obinugu, Eze Ilomuna Ulumanya on Sunday, that's today, clashed on board peace aircraft headed for Abuja after a hot exchange of words. Report having that the Obi of Obinogu, Eze confronted ex-governor of Imo State, who was seated just next to him while on board the plane. Well, according to the report, Eze Cletus hit the senator representing Imo West Senatorial District during the heat of an argument with his ceremonial stick, which led to the captain of the flight to give them separate seats to avoid a further brawl between the two Imo leaders. Eze Cletus was said to have warned the ex-governor to stay clear of Orlu, which is one of the Imo State largest cities. It is alleged that the confrontation was as a result of his dethronement as Imo Council of Traditional Rulers chairman by Okorocha in 2011. You can understand now vengeance actually speaking here. Well, shortly after Okorocha became governor of Imo State, the case was taken to court and Eze Cletus lost to the then governor of Imo State, which is Rochas Okorocha. However, in an interview with Guardian in 2017, Eze Cletus stated that the former Imo State governor was like a dictator, alleging that he was playing God in Imo State. I must confess, I'm quoting him now, I must confess I have no personal problems with Rochas Okorocha. I have no other option than to honor and respect his person and office. This I have always done despite his calculated attempts to dishonor me. But what I oppose in all ramifications is Governor Rochas Okorocha's dictatorial tendencies. He is playing the God in Imo. This is not good for our people. It is also not good for the image of Imo State. He told Guardian. Plans are currently being made for him to be reinstated as Imo Council of Traditional Rulers chairman by Governor Hope Uzodinma. Whatever is the reason behind the scene created on Sunday, they must always remember that they are leaders and the world is watching. This is a case of, permit me to use the word, payment. As at 2011, when he was still the council chief, when Rochas Okorocha, the then governor of Imo State, entered the throne. See, look, that's the fear, those who live in glass house don't throw stone. Don't forget that power is transit. Power is not permanent. Okay? Yes, 4 years takes quite a long time. 8 years mark for 2 tenures. Looks like as if it's not going to end. But one day it will end. You can imagine what is going on in Imo State and what they have been doing to Rochas Okorocha. Some of those properties that was actually ceded to his family, his daughter and the rest. They started recovering them. Some of those universities in unique names have started going back to Imo State government. While some persons may not like Hope Uzodinma, what he has done, a lot of persons have been calling him saboteur because of some of the things he was said to have, the practical move he did against the Eastern Security Network in Imo State Orlu. But you cannot take away this from him. The fact that whether it is by vengeance or vendetta, because sometimes, whether vendetta or not, if it's going to be to the good of the Imolite, why not? That's the beauty of governance, especially good governance. But then the question now is, I hope that it's not a case of recovering to reloot and one way or the other. In Nigeria, everything and anything is possible. But generally, must give it to Governor Hope Uzodinma. The fact that he's recovering all those properties that have been, seeded in the name of the former governor, and the fact that it looked as if it's going to remain permanent. So some persons say it's actually personal vendetta, and some persons are saying simply because they had some other beefs and it's not taking it personal. Whether I'm taking it personal or not, if it's actually benefiting the people of Imo, I'm very sure that all the Azes, all the OBs, all the kings and monarchs will definitely rally around Governor Hope Uzodinma. Some persons are saying he has actually settled one or two persons. You don't even need to settle anybody. If you're doing the right thing, the people will just generally follow you. I know that some persons are angry. A lot of persons are actually angry that he actually brought in the military in Imo State to dose down the effect of ESN. But also, you must also encourage him and applaud him for the fact that he's deliberately, consciously, and recovering all the assets that was hitherto being looted off by one or two projects that are actually not real. It's so unfair, really, that Imolites are suffering for, and then there's negligence or recklessness of one or two leadership errors here and there. But honestly, to think that two grown men, well, if not for the fact that the captain had to come in and intervene, they would have been fighting on the aircraft, oh, on a flight, on moving flight. How bad can it get? That men of reputable character, men that usually they will say look up to your when you're growing up, they say look, have a mentor, look up to him. These are men that on a fine day, the next generation should be looking up to them and saying these are men of timber and caliber, or should I call it now timber and caterpillar, because the fact that it has gotten degenerated to this level. That's the same thing that happened in also during the time he was trying to stop the recovery of one of his hotels then, and where a young man was seriously tapping him. Let's not forget that whatever rulership we enjoy today, we will quit that seat one day. And those whom you have hurt, you may have forgotten about them, because then when you were in power, it looked as if you cannot come down forever again. But those whom you have hurt with words, with actions, with inactions, they will not forget. It will be very fresh in their memory, simply because they believe you're in a position of help, position of authority to extend help, but you didn't. And for whatever reason, instead to rub it on their faces, they will definitely remind you. Imagine if the captain hadn't intervened. Maybe by now, they would have used those sticks to redesign Governor Senator Rochas Okorocha. I guess he has quite a lot of enemies that within and enemies without. I guess the Imolites are actually waiting to get back all stolen property. But as we go wrap it up, let's listen to that conversation. What's the take on what took place between the OB